Jamila Franklin.
Can you pass this? Greetings. Hi, I'm Professor Jamila Franklin. I was here the last time, and I'm talking about some issues that were not resolved for District 2. I'm really perplexed by Commissioner Hambrick and her advocacy for things that really don't affect us day to day in District 2. I've sent emails to her. I've called her office. Neither she nor her aide has responded, even since the last meeting. So I'm just really perplexed. Okay, constant trash on flat shoals on Riverdale Road, which causes rodents, overgrown grass and trees, especially in our area. Some of the grass is 2 feet tall, broken sidewalks, which are hazardous, no community updates from Commissioner Hambrick about economic development to encourage business growth for jobs, food and housing programs for indigent and elderly residents, missing, no community meetings in person or online, lack of communication with the residents who are also here, who contact her office. Solutions: place overhead cameras along Flat Shoals Road, Rock Hill Drive, and Riverdale Road to catch and find trash violators, schedule weekly trash and grass cutting schedules, place do not litter signs on existing signposts throughout the district, establish and provide food programs and distribution centers to feed the hungry, the indigent, and the elderly in the district. I've heard a lot of political talk here that does not directly affect people day to day. Create and schedule job fairs, housing fairs, economic development, and job training programs instead of movie nights that do not address the issues of homelessness, poverty, and food scarcity in District 2. Establish and advertise monthly meetings with residents that reside in the Aspen Road, Rock Hill Drive, and Riverdale Road, Flat Shoals communities.
Your time is up.
Okay.
Helen Jordan.
Helen Jordan, District 2, 782 Rock Shoals Court, College Park, Georgia. I am again coming to you about the situation with the dangerous sidewalks. I stated before 2 weeks ago that my husband uses a walker, or right now he uses a cane. It is very dangerous for him to try to exercise and walk in his community, and the sidewalks are cracked. They have come out, they have put white arrows on the sidewalks marking something, and that's it. Nothing else has been done. This was done back in June. We see other things that are going on within the community, fine. I'm concerned about where we live. I'm concerned about the safety. I am concerned about being able to walk and not have to trip when I walk, and I don't use a cane. I'm sorry if I sound frustrated, but I'm frustrated because nothing is being done. And this is in District 2. I asked about no littering signs because we are constantly in the walk that we do Monday through Friday, walking around trash that people have decided to throw out. Yes, grass is being cut, trash is being left, and just a couple of days ago, yes, prisoners did pick up the trash that was there, but it's not consistent. We need signs. The posts are already there. Just hang a sign up there that says no littering. It may deter somebody, but it's really frustrating. Thank you.
What subdivision are you in?
I am in the Pine Shoals subdivision.
Thank you, ma'am. Aretha Ensley.
Good evening, Commissioners. Aretha Ensley, unincorporated Hampton. And I really had not planned to speak, but just to say this. I wanted to know from you, when you decide to run, why did you run for office? Number one, I know I'm not going to get an answer. Number two, but think about it. Number two, what were your vision for this county? And the reason I'm asking that, you hear these, I hear these, I don't know, requests to put in automotive this, put in this, and it seems like we don't think about the health of the community, the safety, because there's no infrastructure. We're talking about sidewalks, but they are public lighting, things that really and truly count and make it good for the citizens. You seem to totally say, we got this big vision, but we don't know how to take care of it once we put it in place. It is something wrong with your decision making. I don't understand how the investors can come in and just take over, and we don't think about our children, the poor people, the people can't afford their health insurance or whatever. We always talking about this and that. I just want to know, can you please, if you ever get a chance to talk to me, why can you tell us why you run for office and what's your vision for this county? You have over 90% of the airport that sits in this Clayton County, and everybody think, oh, we ain't getting nothing. What are we getting? What are the benefits for you? If I go to your place and squat on it, or am I going to pay you something? You're going to ask me? I'm just going to be free. I don't understand what's going on. Maybe you can explain that to us, because it is not working very well. And I'm telling you, the county is getting worse and not better. Decision making is awful. Thank you.
Mickey Garber.
Madam Clerk, Mickey Garber, unincorporated, Rex, Georgia. Public comment today. I will speak about the upcoming request by the Office of Performance Management, of which Dr. Smith heads. Ms. Celeste Hollis Singleton is Senior Grants Analyst in this office, and their request of $202,000 over a 3-year period for their purchase of software called eCevis. Little background here. The Office of Performance Management last year tracked $90 million, and that was outside of the SPLOSH program. With eCevis software, they will have the potential to increase their tracking of grants by 20%. with a dollar value of approximately $23 million increase, which is an increase over $90 million already in play of $26,000. Caveat here, 22 grants are uploaded nationally daily. Many of you tout yourselves as business people, and as you know, with any investment, there's potential for failure, as well as great rewards. And for the risk of $202,000 over a 3-year period with a potential of rewards of approximately $23 million, I, as a taxpayer, vote for an approval of their request. And you, Dr. Anderson, as my commissioner, I expect you to vote for approval of this request. Y'all got in a big yahoo over the CFO tracking money on issue number 8. Their office will be able to track the performance of their... Thank you.
This looks like Colette Knight. Miss Knight. Okay, Carol Yancey.
Carol Yancey, Rex, Georgia. For the record, on August the 3rd, I received a letter from the county's attorney, which in effect was to limit and silence my voice, along with violating my civil rights in regards to freedom of speech and expression during public comments, emails, and virtual town hall meetings. My attorney's impending response may lead to legal actions against the county and certain members of the Board of Commissioners. I have 5 questions that I would like clarification to. Number 1, why is it now so many orders of remissions being approved on the consent agendas over the past several months? Number 2, the County Ethics Board has not responded to complaints I and others submitted between May and present. Why? Why is there apparent interference by certain Board of Commissioner members when open records requests? If an independent audit is being conducted on county staff, why not include all the Board of Commissioner members? The last one, if point of order is under Robert's Rules of Order, why are certain commissioners invoking parliamentary procedures that are not applicable during residents' public comments? Crickets? Crickets.
Crickets.
Okay, thank you.
Anika Walker. How we doing on time, Madam Clerk?
We're good on time. It's only been 10 minutes,
I'm sorry?
approximately. It's only approximately been 10 minutes.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Anika Foster, and I've been a resident of Clayton County since 1996 in District 2. Seeing the condition of my community is concerning because communities have a major impact on the health and well-being of its residents. The conditions in which we live explain in part why some Americans are healthier than others and why health disparities exist. Here in Clayton County, obesity, diabetes, and hypertension stand out as a few important issues that disproportionately impact the members of our community. Regular exercise helps prevent and manage many health problems and concerns, including some of those that I just mentioned. Both the U.S. Surgeon General and the Clayton County Health District recommend physical activity for at least 150 minutes a week. In fact, an example is provided by the Clayton County Department of Health to meet this recommendation is to aim for moderate exercise like brisk walking or gardening. So, why? Because walking is associated with lower body mass index, controlled blood pressure, and improved quality of health. But how can we walk to improve our health when the environment does not support this activity? As previously mentioned, the grass is constantly uncut, tree limbs are often blocking the sidewalks, and there's trash all over the place. Creating change in our community is a long-term process that will ultimately be achieved by implementing small changes at a time. This takes leadership, community engagement, and consistency of effort. What this means in practice is that we need to start implementing some evidence-based strategies, such as keeping the existing sidewalks and surrounding areas free from hazards, having visible no littering signs, and keeping the grass well maintained. So I challenge you all to take action now and to keep our environment clean, safe, and easy to navigate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Kentia Smith. Kentia.
Okay, so I'm the young lady that's been impacted that you were discussing on 8. I've been in business in Clayton County for 12 years. I just was impacted by the murder in the plaza at Lake Ridge. The grants situation has been kind of not good for me. And I know a couple of other business owners that have been impacted. I am facing eviction. I just think maybe you need to get the businesses involved in the process versus issuing money out that we could use for rent, whatever, because we didn't get any type of funding when COVID hit. We shut down, we haven't recovered. I know a lot of people lost their businesses. I don't want to lose my business. All my stylists left on Saturday due to the murder. I don't know what's going to happen, but the funding thing needs to be addressed. Miss Erica, I did speak with her. I was very upset. I apologize for the way that I approached her, but I'm not apologizing for them not communicating, not returning emails. A lot of businesses that I personally gave Ms. Hambrick, they still haven't heard anything yet, and we're getting ready to go into the second round. So I would hope that you will address this. It doesn't need to be a 3-week turnaround because you're going to lose a lot of business out of Clayton County. If it takes 3 weeks to get funding, and a lot of people are behind on rent, utilities, and they're going to close. A lot of people are going to close. That's all I have to say.
And I don't know if you stated your name prior to.
I'm Kentia. You said it right. I'm Kentia Smith, and I do own T.S. Harris Studio in the Lake Ridge Plaza. And something needs to be done because they are trafficking, selling dope, and murders in that plaza.
You talk to the chief of police.
Okay. Thank you.
Reverend Joseph Wheeler. Excuse me, if y'all can just stand right there where you are. Not everybody come up here, but yes, that'll be fine right there. Yes, sir.
Honorable Chairman, distinguished members of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, fellow citizens, I'm Reverend Joseph Wheeler, the Vice President for the National Action Network Chapter for Henry and Clayton County. We received a complaint from the Turner family and other family members of the deceased loved ones who were buried at Bethel AME Cemetery off of West Lee's Mill Road. We've been trying to get Mr. Stevens and the others to meet with us. I'd like for you to recall Resolution 2008-214. You can write it down and look at it later. This board adopted a resolution giving Mr. John D. Stevens permission to reinter those graves to Carver Garden Memorial Cemetery. And he went through all of the motions. In fact, I'd like to read some of it to you. Whereas required by the law OCGA 3672-6, Stevens MDS has implemented the descendant identification and notification plan and documentation results in their information package submitted with the permit. Whereas pursuant to the plan, the interment of all human remains will be at the Carver Memorial Garden, which has been established since 1951. They went through all the motions. It was signed by the chairman, then Mr. Elgin Bell. Went through all the motions. However, we've been at the cemetery trying to find these graves. We have not seen these 344 remains. Now, it is a disgrace, not only to this family, but to all African Americans, because any cemetery in this county can be done this way. The National Action Network is asking the family to file a formal police complaint against Mr. John D. Stevens, Mike Reynolds of Brockington LLC, and the owner of Carver Garden Memorial Cemetery.
Your time is up, sir.
Thank you, but we will file a complaint, and I would like to meet with you, Mr. Chairman.
Let me ask a question.
Yes, sir.
You are familiar with John D. Stevens no longer owns that
property? No, sir. He still has shares in the company. His name is still on the marquee. In fact, Mr. Joe Conenhan told me that he didn't have any shares, but he didn't know that I talked to Mr. John D. Stevens prior to talking to him, who volunteered to me that he has shares in the company. And he also said that he contracted the work to reinter those graves to someone else. He referred me to Mike Reynolds. Mike Reynolds and I went back and forth. He said he was trying to clean off the graves so we could see them. That was 4 months ago. We still have not seen any of those graves. And we will not rest until this family is made whole.
Thank you, sir. Christopher Brown.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
this needs to be our last.
this is the last one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Christopher Brown. That's my family as well. I'm here with Reverend Wheeler. And before I state my reason for this appearance, let me take a moment to say rest in peace to my ancestors whose remains were illegally removed from what was supposed to be their final resting place. Now, again, this is my family, and we are descendants of some of the individuals who were buried in a cemetery in a location formerly known as Union Bethel Cemetery, located on Lees Mill Road here in Clayton County. Now, those were the remains of former slaves who had to fight every day for a modicum of dignity while making a life for themselves and their families in this country as far back as the 1870s. Thus, the purpose of my appearance here this evening is to put on public record the fact that the remains of 344 of my ancestors from that cemetery are unaccounted for, and the family and I need answers. Years ago, the Clayton County Board of Commissioners adopted a resolution 2008-214. This resolution allowed a company by the name of John Stevens, MD, owned by John Stevens and others, to assume control of the land on which the church and adjoining cemetery were situated, with little to no regard for people who had been laid to rest there. Stevens Industries wanted the minerals on their land and successfully schemed to get them by any means necessary, even if that meant desecrating a centuries-old cemetery. Now, to placate the family, in 2009, company owner Mr. John Stevens promised that he was going to move the graves and reinter the bodies at Carver Memorial Cemetery. To this day, that still has yet to occur. To represent the remains of those 344 human beings sits a bench and a marker, but that will not suffice. There were over 150 years of history and 344 human remains completely eradicated because deep-pocketed capitalists and shady politicians seemingly colluded to illegally seize control of the land from disenfranchised African Americans. Now, as a tax-paying, law-abiding American citizen who honorably served in the United States Navy, and I'm a descendant of those people, I'm well within my right to ask the question of where are the remains of my ancestors. There are 300. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, that concludes public comment.